Toast. We're back here. We're going to learn about symbols on this one. So you have toast, and one thing that I would like us to do with this is just make the toast a little bit smaller. So if you just select it, scale it down so it's not so huge, this will help with our example of symbols. So in order for us to work with symbols, we need to look at the symbol palette window. So go to Window, Symbols, open that sucker up. Oh, there's already toast in there. I should delete that thing. Good. Okay. Symbols. We have all these symbols. These symbols are predefined symbols that we can use with a tool or just directly from this little window here. So if you wanted an icon of a home, you can just take that home and drag it to your canvas, and you have one instance of one of these symbols. And pretty much any of these things can be brought out that way. You've got the little play bar or a star or a little magic globe. I think these are uniform throughout the two platforms, PC and Mac. I'm not really sure. This looks like a Mac thing. Maybe it's just close to it. Anyways, the symbol palette window here has a library that you can open up by clicking on the bottom left button of that, and we have lots of different types of symbols that you can use, logo elements, all the way I love it, all the way down to sushi. And a little new window pops up, and you could take, do they have spicy tuna? Is that spicy tuna? What is it? Oh, it's supermaki. It's close enough. I like spicy, no, it's not maki. I like spicy imachi. I don't know if that's in there, but they got like, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Anyways, these things are just symbols. They're pre-existing artwork that has been defined as a symbol. Gosh, I wonder if they have unagi. Toro. Toro. Oh, that's what I have there. It's so delicious. This is killing me. We went from like boring buttered bread to sushi, and I really haven't eaten anything today, and that is not very fun. Anyways, these guys, they're vector artwork, so you can take them and scale them up. Oh, this one, however, has shadows that were not set for a higher resolution, so all these little shadow things end up getting pixelated and rasterized. That's a downfall that you'll learn about later, but notice that the things that are still vector shapes do retain some definition along here and there, the little green things, but anything where there's a drop shadow, that is a one-time deal. What about this one? I wonder how this one blows up. Yeah, there's still some of that drop shadow stuff in there. Just goes to show, drop shadows, you know what? So many people love to just jump on the drop shadow bandwagon so fast, but it can cause you some trouble down the road. Anyways, look at that. This one has no drop shadows. It looks great. This is the super maki. Yum. Okay, go away, sushi. Give me something that doesn't make me hungry. I'll go with flowers. Beautiful flowers. Look at that. All right, so these are symbols, right? Symbols are just vector shapes that somebody at Adobe was hired to create for their stock group of yes, I want to delete those. I'm just tidying up my window. Tidy up my workspace. These symbols were created just so that we had some symbols hanging around that we could use. And in order to use them with a tool, you have to go use a symbol sprayer. And it's located sort of near the bottom of your toolbar list there, symbol sprayer. You can pull it up, activate it by hitting Shift S. Anyways, whatever symbol you have selected, in this case, what do I pull up? Mad Science sounds like fun. Little beakers. I'm going to go with little beakers from Mad Science. That is now my selected symbol. I can see it in my symbol window. And if I just click and drag on screen, I have now populated my screen with these symbols. So this is a second way in which you can get symbols on screen. It's pretty cool. You could imagine using like bubbles or something maybe to enhance a document, but normally the beaker, you'd probably just want like one of these things. You just drag it off the symbol window and plap it on your plap. I don't think plap is a word. Plop or slap. Maybe I can coin that one. Plap it. Throw it on your artboard and work with just one instance. But in this case, I'm just kind of showing you this tool so that you know how this works. Under this tool, if you click and hold, you see you have a symbol shifter, and this allows you to move some of those symbols around. You click and drag. You can specify individuals or groups depending on where you click. Also, how big that brush is will affect the placement and relocation of these things. So you can kind of shift them around. You can also do a symbol scruncher, and that will close the gap between some of these things. You need a bigger brush in order to see it for sure, but you can kind of scrub and see what's happening, but you're basically pulling them together, scrunching them. What a great word. And then, I guess before I leave that one, if you were to hold down Option or Alt, you'll do the opposite. You'll push them away from each other. So you can scrunch and pull things together, or you can hold down Option or Alt and push things away from each other, open them up. The sound effects always help. And then we have the symbol sizer, and this will make symbols based on where you click and the size of your brush grow in size unless you click and hold on your Option or Alt key, and that'll make them smaller. So you can get some good variation in scale real quickly with your sizer, which is pretty sweet. And then we have the symbol spinner, and this will allow you to click and drag in a direction, and it'll start to rotate some of those symbols. It's really kind of cool. I mean, like, I really couldn't tell you when I would be using all these beakers unless it was like I'm setting up kind of like a exercise for like elementary school or something, grade school. And I wanted a cool background of beakers that was slightly opaque and then some like chemistry information on top of it. That could work. Look at that toast just sit in the background. What kind of experiments are we doing here? Under the symbol spinner tool, you have the symbol stainer. Symbol stainer requires that you choose a color. You should click on your swatch palette and pick a color. I'm going to go with red. And now as you click either quickly or hold longer or even more clicks, you will start to stain these things and influence their color to the color that you have selected in your color picker. Now I could go to blue, and I could change a couple of them to kind of bluish color. So I'm just kind of providing greater variation now in the presence of color, just altering these things so they're not all the same. It's a pretty nifty tool. And then we have our symbol screener, which is going to deal with opacities of these things. The more you click or the longer you click, the more transparent those will become. And it also depends on your brush and the proximity there. Pretty sweet. And then the last one is your symbol styler tool. I'm going to skip it because we haven't talked about graphic styles yet. We will later. And this would apply after. So just remember, when I go over graphic styles later, there is something you could do with the symbol tool. So that's the sprayer and all those sweet little things. But what about making your own? Oh, you might want to notice too that this is all kind of considered one object now. If you click off of it and click on one of them, it's going to select all of them, which you can go into a edit mode for these things and try to select one of them, but you won't be able to. It's not like a group. This is a whole sort of symbol set. It's a different animal. So what's nice about that is I can just hit delete and they all go away. Now back to my toast. My little piece of toast. We're going to create our own symbol. So any artwork can be created into a symbol. In this case, it's just a simple vector object. You need to select it in order to create a symbol. And you will also need to activate your symbols window. And you can click on the new symbol button at the bottom near the trash can, or you can go to the flyout menu on the top right and choose new symbol. New symbol, I'm going to call it toast. Toast. And then we have the type. This is where we see that there are some integration capabilities now between the Adobe applications. In this case, it is a relationship with Flash. And we could create movie symbols that are, symbols that are movie clips that would interface well with Flash. But we're not doing that. We're just working in Illustrator. So we're going to change our type to a graphic. And hit OK. This is now a symbol. And I could delete it if I wanted to. Deleted. And in my symbols window, I see my toast. Which means that I could just grab an instance of toast and put it on my artboard. I could a second, a third, a fourth. Okay, so there's 4 instances of toast now. So this is kind of a nice way to deal with some repetition of a symbol without having to create it. And the other sweet thing about this is that it is editable, which means if I go to my toast symbol in my toast window and double click on it, it takes me to my symbol editor where I could alter my toast. And you know what I like on my toast? I like butter. So if I put a little slab of butter down there, stonk, a little rotation, because no one ever puts butter just perfectly on their toast. It's always a little crooked. Maybe I even outline that. Nope. Outline it with a little orange stroke just to make it look whatever, more graphical. I have now added butter to my toast. And if I double click off of my toast and go back, you'll see that all of the instances of my toast have been updated and they now have butter. So it's a live connection to the symbol. At any time you can go back and remove the butter or spread the butter or give the butter a nice drip. That sounds like fun. You know, I gotta have some fun while I'm here doing these things. So what would I want to do? Maybe I'll take my my warp tool. Whoa, way too big. And I'll make my butter drip a little bit. Nice drippy butter. Yeah. All right, drippy butter. Now, if I go back, I've got drippy butter everywhere. So that's the magic of the symbol. And I could delete these instances of the toast, grab my symbol sprayer, and now I can just spray my my artboard with toast. Ah, that makes me happy. And then you could change your size of these things. Some of them need to be smaller, some of them can be bigger. Because, you know, variation is the key. Consistency kind of sucks. So, more variation, less consistency you can give your designs, the better off you are, the more interesting your work is. That's super. What happens if I stain my toast? What other kind of colors of toast could I have? I suppose I could have some, ooh, that's not rye. That's too close. All right, I guess whatever. I got a couple rye pieces in there. Got some white bread and some moldy toast. There's some moldy toast in there. Sometimes mold is blue. Yeah, cool. All right, so there's my toast. We created our own symbol and learned how to edit our symbol and use the symbol sprayer. Those are symbols, and I am out of here.